Have you ever asked yourself, if one day you had to choose between your faith and your life, which would you choose? More than 2,000 years ago, 12 men faced that very question. They were not heroes at the beginning. They were fishermen, tax collectors, ordinary men with all too human weaknesses. They were hot-tempered, doubtful, argumentative, even capable of betrayal. But they followed one man, and that changed everything. They saw him heal the lame, raise the dead, and at last, they saw him nailed to a cross. From that moment, their lives turned onto a path with no way back, a path of blood and fire, of tears and glory. Judas Iscariot, for 30 silver coins, the price of a slave, pressed a kiss of betrayal onto his master's cheek. When he saw Jesus condemned, guilt cut into him like a blade. He hurled the silver onto the temple floor and hanged himself. The field bought with that silver would forever be called the field of blood, a reminder of the price of treachery. James, son of Zebedee, once called a son of thunder, became a pillar of the church after Christ's resurrection. But during Passover, King Herod ordered his beheading. He was the first apostle to die for the faith, a shock that stunned believers but steeled their resolve. Peter, who once swore he would die for Jesus yet denied him 3 times, was restored and became the rock of the church. In Rome, when Nero set Christians aflame, Peter was condemned to crucifixion. He asked to be hung upside down, feeling unworthy to die as his Lord had. Andrew, the first called, spent his life leading others to Christ. In Greece, he refused to stop preaching and was sentenced to death on an X-shaped cross. For 2 days he hung there, still speaking to the crowds, until his last breath dissolved into the wind. Thomas, who once declared he would not believe unless he touched the nail marks, when he saw the risen Christ cried out, "My Lord and my God." He carried the gospel to India, where enraged priests drove spears through his body as he prayed. Bartholomew, a man without deceit, preached in Armenia. His enemies seized him, flayed him alive, and crucified him upside down. Even as his flesh was torn, he prayed for the hands that were killing him. Philip, practical yet brave, once led an Ethiopian official to Christ. In Asia Minor, he was crucified upside down, still asking God to forgive the crowd cheering at his death. Matthew, despised for collecting taxes for Rome, became the author of a gospel. He preached in Ethiopia, where he was stoned, struck with axes and swords. Even as his blood ran, he prayed for those who struck him. James the Lesser, leader of the Jerusalem church for 30 years, was known for praying until his knees grew calloused like stone. Thrown from the pinnacle of the temple, he survived, knelt, and prayed for his attackers, until they beat him to death. Simon the Zealot, once a revolutionary fighter, and Jude Thaddeus, gentle yet steadfast, brought the gospel to Persia. Both were hacked to death by an angry mob, yet still managed to speak words of forgiveness. John, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was the only one who did not die a martyr's death. Exiled to Patmos, he received the visions of Revelation, then died peacefully in Ephesus around the age of 100, the last living witness of the days when Christ walked the earth. And Paul, once a terror to Christians, met Christ on the road to Damascus and became the apostle to the nations. After years of prison and persecution, he was beheaded in Rome, ending a life that had journeyed from persecutor to the persecuted. 12 men, and one who came after, left bloody footprints across the ancient world. They were not perfect. They doubted, feared, and stumbled. But when they stood on the threshold between life and death, they chose not to deny him. Their blood soaked the earth, becoming the seed of a faith that would cover the globe. And today, as we live in times of peace, untouched by swords or crosses, the ancient question still echoes. If tomorrow your faith cost you your life, what would you do?